Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of Monday Motivation. If you've ever had yourself feeling in a funk, wondering what on earth you should do next and just feeling off colour, then this episode is very specifically for you. Now, it is Monday morning here in the UK and, for some of you, you are entering the week with a feeling of dread. Some of you are entering the week with a feeling of excitement, and some of you are just raring to go. Wherever you're at in the spectrum, this Monday Motivation will be showing you ways of how to motivate yourself when your head isn't in the space that it might need to be. So if you're like the other vibers that watch this regularly, whether you're watching this live actually or whether you're watching this on the replay, do pop a comment below. Let me know what resonates with you. Let me know ideas of things that you perhaps have done that have worked for you. Maybe you've got a question, you're confused by something that I'm saying. So I'm saying good morning to Ivona and good morning to Alan, who's also saying good morning to Ivona. And by the way, if you do hop on and watch this live or on the replay and you are a bit like, I'd just rather watch in the background, that's fine too. The one thing that I would love you to do, because this topic is really important, this topic of sorting our own heads out has the ability to take us down and stop us from achieving, as I retrieve my hair, achieving the dreams, our plans, our goals and the things we want to do. So with this particular episode or edition, I would ask you to share it on your timeline, on your personal timeline, because you never know who of your friends might need to watch it. And as things, as you start to see things more clearly or you hear things that you love or like, perhaps put in the title, here's what I got from today, or I've just heard this and I think this is a really great thing for you to listen to. And if you're one of those people, of course, that are listening to this because someone has shared it with you, do come and say hello. So this morning, in the time that we've got, I'm going to go through as many of these sort of pre-prepared, here's my list, as many of these pre-prepared ways of helping us to sort our heads out. So the first thing that I want to say is, my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm nicknamed the Queen of Being Seen because you being visible, being seen by the people you need to be seen by, whether you're a self-employed person or whether you are an employed person, or whether, as many of my clients are straddling the two. Maybe you're a professional and you're a current employee and you're spending your weekends and your evenings building a business that you hope will overtake the 9 to 5 in the office so that you can go and do that full time and live from doing the thing that you're really and truly passionate about, the thing that you really want to do. So by you being seen by the people that you know that you're really great at working with, being heard by those people as well, then it allows you to transition and do that in a way that just feels juicy and comfortable to you. So when I was putting this topic together, like everything, there are times in life, and it kind of follows on a little bit from last week's Monday Motivation, you make it look so easy. People have said that to myself, to me so many times about various things that I do within my business, in my life. And the truth is that there was a point where it wasn't easy. There was a point where I had to decide and choose to do the thing. And sometimes there was something that I maybe had to overcome. Now, it can only be a struggle if while you're overcoming the thing that you let it take you down. I always describe it as being taken out by the knees. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I want to go and do it. And then something comes along, whacks your legs and just takes your feet from under you. And quite often for people that experience that, there's something that comes up for them, but at the same time, the thing that comes up for them stops them. Whereas for other people, something comes up for them and somehow, seemingly, they're able to push through. And the thing that I know for sure, having friends, having clients, having peers who have done and are doing the most amazing things in the world. Some of them are building brands, some of them are building organisations and movements and businesses, and some of them are building lives that they want, that are quite unconventional in some terms. And they're doing it around families. They're doing it as single parents. Some of them are growing and doing the most amazing things in life, having to have made those tough decisions, having to have gone through those difficult things and deciding, you know, no matter what, I'm going to do this. And here are just a handful, a sprinkling of a collection of things that you, that I, that we can do to help sort our head out when we need it most. So the first one I'm going to start off with is, I used to have a relative that used to say, Jennifer, there's a night at the end of every day. And in common work, you know, in common sort of spoken practice, that, oh, there's a night at the end of every day, when they used to say that, what they actually meant was their day will come, you know. When they think they're doing this, there's always a close to it. Which I get why people would say that. I get why somebody would say that. But here's the thing. In the same way that there's a night to the end of every day, there's a day at the end of every night. So what do I mean by that? You get a daily fresh start. Every morning when you wake up, you get the chance to start again. So what do you want to do with that fresh start? Do you want to wake up and say, oh gosh, and go back to yesterday? Or do you want to use the chance almost like to reset yourself, to get that fresh start, to get started again, have a clean sweep? And you know, one of the simplest ways that you can do that for yourself are these three things. And this is what I've seen in myself when things have gone well, in my clients when stuff's working for them, in my peers and in the people around me, you know, including like coaches and mentors myself that I use, that are doing some like amazing things out there, as are you. But you're not going to get there if you do these three things that mess up the fresh start to your day. So the first one is, do you get enough sleep? You can answer it in the box below and hold yourself publicly accountable, or you can go away and have a think about that. Do you even know what your optimum amount of sleep is? You know, just because you may have read somewhere it's 8 hours a night, 4 hours a night, 6 hours a night, actually you don't need any as long as you drink water a night. None of that matters. What does matter, what is important, is that you have a look at how much sleep you need. What is your optimum amount of sleep? And it's so funny that in this very busy and cluttered world, that so many of us are thinking, well, I can't sleep in for too long because I've got too much to do. When actually, you're going to function really, really well when you get your optimal amount of sleep. So work out what that is for you. Have an experiment where you go to bed and you just, you know, for a few nights, you go to bed and you see what your optimal sleep is. I actually had an app on my phone which you can get from, you know, most good app stores, where you could have a look and see how your sleep patterns were when you went into a deep sleep and then when you come out of a light sleep. So you could see, and I worked out my optimum number of hours sleep is 6.5, but yours might be 8, 10, 4, 3. You know, it could be any of those. Just wanted to say a quick AOP to Ian. Ian's saying hello to Ivona and everybody else, and he's saying welcome to a new and awesome week. So I would guess that Ian has had a good fresh start. He's had a good night's sleep and he's raring to go. So everyone else is saying hello to everyone else there. So, and thanks for those of you that are hopping on. And I know some of you need to hop off and do things, and that's fine. If that's you, even if you're watching this on the replay, just save this video. There's a little arrow at the top right hand side as you look at the screen. Save this video and come back to it. So here's the other thing about your fresh start and your sleep. Not only do you need to make sure that you're getting enough sleep that's great for you, are you getting that on a regular basis? And are you in a routine? So, you know, people have babies and they put them down at a certain time and pick them up at a certain time. Did you know that you were once a baby? Did you know that you were once like really into that routine? So here's what to do. Don't think, well, I'm going to try and get an early night this week and just go for one early night. There are too many people that do that. So Alan is saying that he's lucky to get 3 hours sleep. So here's something that I'd love you to try, Alan. And, you know, this is your choice. This is your choice to choose to do this. And anyone else who's listening, because I know that Alan isn't the only person. Do this on a regular basis. So if you know that you get 3 hours sleep and you can function consistently on a regular basis on 3 hours sleep, then you may have found your key. But for you, Alan, it could be that you get your 3 hours sleep at night and then your next 3 hours maybe over lunchtime or something else like that, some other time throughout the day. Whichever you decide on your optimum sleep pattern, make sure that you do it regularly. Commit to yourself, we're on the 13th of August today, commit to yourself that you're going to do this until at least the end of this month. Now, there'll be times when you need to get up a bit earlier, or, you can't have your lunchtime nap because you've got something else in the calendar, but commit to doing this on a regular basis. And I tell you why. The number one reason that I see when people even speak to me about things not going in the way they want or feeling anxious about something is they are not getting enough sleep. This is not rocket science, but this is one of the most common denominators, common factors. When people are upset and they're like, I don't know what's come over me, I'm just a bit more upset today than I would normally be, they normally haven't had enough sleep. And it's not just one odd night of missed sleep. This is a consistent pattern. So make sure that you have your daily fresh start by getting enough sleep, by getting regular sleep, and by making sure that you have routine. That's the first thing to sort your head out. And actually, when you think about it, how easy is that? How easy is it? So the second step is one that I absolutely adore and love, and it took me years, if I'm honest, to get into this, and that is meditation. Now, Oprah and Deepak have just finished a 21-day meditation. So if you haven't experienced it, while it's still Monday, I know that they will go into a day 22. Go either look for them on Facebook, Oprah and Deepak Meditation, and you'll find a page dedicated to it with a link. You might be able to join up, even if it's just for one day. Have a look for that, or go on to whichever search engine you would like to. Now, here's the thing. Meditation allows you to start your day with a clean slate. It allows you to get to tap into sort of whatever you would call maybe like an inner peace, an inner sanctuary, an inner calm, something that's internal for you. And here's why meditation is so effective for so many people and so important. Without any other distractions in the world, without the kids demanding your attention, without Facebook or social media demanding a piece of you, without being on the telephone, without being really bombarded by life, it allows you to tap into what you need. Just you, only you. Now, the strangest of things is with meditation, there are some myths around it. And one of the myths is that you have to completely empty your mind. Now, if you're a Zen master at, meditation and been doing it for decades, I could understand why you might look to achieve that. But if you are looking to explore meditation, have just got into meditation, or a beginner in meditation, your only job is to be able just to let or allow those thoughts wash in and wash out. What you don't want to be doing is letting the thoughts wash in. Oh, I've got to go and do some shopping later. I need to buy a loaf of bread, 6 pints of milk, or anything else like that. The thing to do in meditation is to have some sort of mantra, somewhere that you can get quiet and have some sort of mantra where you can just repeat it over and over again. That normally helps, and with the Deepak and Oprah meditation, that's exactly what they show you how to do. They give you a bit of context beforehand as to why it could be important for you, because they normally have a theme. Then they let you know what you're about to do. They give you a mantra, and then off you go, listening to some really lovely music. You just repeat the mantra in your head. So if there are words in your head and you're finding it difficult to still your mind more than quiet your mind, then just by repeating those over and over again, if you're like, oh, I don't know what to say, how about affirming something? I am okay. I am great. I am okay. I'm fabulous. Whatever the thing is, just say that one same thing over and over and over again. There are a couple of really great meditations that I recommend. Another one that I've had for a number of years is one by a man called Panache Desai. Now, Panache Desai, I actually came across his work, and then literally a couple of months later, he was on Oprah. And he has a 10-minute meditation that is called Infinite Love and Abundance. And what I like about this particular meditation is it's 10 minutes. You can give yourself 10 minutes a day. You can set your alarm 10 minutes earlier, of course, making sure that you're having your optimal amount of sleep. And for some people, when they wake up, when they're in that haze between being awake and asleep, that might be a really great time to run that meditation, because then that way you're kind of a bit sedated. You're kind of a bit like, you're a bit more calm, cool and settled. And because of that, you're not going to have started your day fighting with your thoughts, comparing yourself to your thoughts. So I would go for something like that. I would go for something that's guided. And, you know, you can meditate for as little as 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The Oprah and Deepak meditations were about 20 minutes. You know, I've got 15-minute meditations, and I've even got my favourite meditation that I recommend to everybody, whether they're a client or not, is one by Wayne Dyer. It's the I Am meditation. And it actually is 2 21-minute meditations. And I have been known on occasions to listen to the introduction, even though I've heard it hundreds of times before, which is 7 minutes, then go straight into the first 21-minute meditation, and then straight into the second 21-minute meditation. Yes, that's 49 minutes in total. But you know what? It allows you to really reset, to, you know, regroup, to replenish, and just get into that quiet space. Now, for some people, they're like, Jenny, I just simply can't meditate. It's not my thing. So I'm just getting rid of my notifications that are coming across my screen so I can read your comments. And one of which is from Ian. He said, I really enjoyed the 21-day meditation challenge this time. Even managed it without missing a day. Let me see if I can see the rest of that this time. And having to play catch up. You did better than me, Ian, because I missed, I think, 2 or maybe 3 days. But I did catch up. So here's the final thing that I do want to say about meditation. When the you know what hits the fan, you know, life happens, it throws you a bag of stress balls. You know, recently a mentor of mine, I was kind of asking them, well, what did you do when, you know, you hit this particular issue? And they said, I meditated 3 times a day. And I thought, well, if you can take, you know, some sort of painkiller 3 times a day, or anti-inflammatory tablet 3 times a day, or medication 3 times a day, and you're really going through it, why not use the time to take meditation 3 times a day? You know, we're happy to go and pop pills. You might say, oh yes, but you know, I've just popped a pill, dust cart alert, you know. You might say, yeah, but you know, when you pop a pill, it only takes a moment. Well, if you're in a place of stress or anxiety, or there's something that you've identified in your life that isn't working for you and causing you a fair amount of pain, isn't it worth 30 minutes throughout the day, 3 lots of 10 minutes, even an hour, you know, 3 lots of 20 minutes, 1 in the morning, 1 sometime in the day, and 1 before you go to bed, just to get yourself back up straight, just to really sort your head out. Because the thing that I know for sure, and this is why I recommend meditation as one of these things, when you have got to a place where you've reached that inner calm, inner stillness, and inner peacefulness, it makes whatever you're dealing with a lot easier to tackle or face, because you are now in your most optimum state of mind to be able to look at it, instead of an anxious, panicked, frenzy state of mind. Is it not worth taking, you know, 3 times a day to absorb and do something like that? Ian's also said he finds the Headspace meditations great as well. It's funny because when I got started with meditation, somebody recommended the Headspace stuff for me. So I remember looking it up, and I think the thing that I found difficult about it, and Headspace is a phenomenal organisation, absolutely, you've got millions of people meditating. The thing that I found, and I don't know if this is the same for you, if you're watching this and you have never meditated before, there's like a bridge from not being a meditator to going into meditation. And I find that a lot of the apps still, they still don't always, or the organisations don't always account for the non-meditation to the being a meditator. There's a certain, like, there's a consistency, I guess, that you get into. There's a certain bridge where you go from the, but I can't meditate. How do I get into it? I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. And sometimes it's not known. Do you listen to a guided meditation? Do you listen to a silent meditation? Do you listen to a musical meditation? Like, what do you do? So, and to be fair, I haven't been on their app for a long time, so I'm not slating them. It's not that I'm not endorsing them or that I'm recommending them or anything else. This is a journey you need to explore for yourself, and use the times of when you find something difficult to be your springboard in terms of, okay, I found that difficult. Ask yourself what was difficult about that, and you will start to get your answers. Because, you know, like a tie, like a colour of nail polish or lipstick, everybody has their own individual style, and it's important that you find it so that you will stick with it. And so that you can stick with it. So if you want more kind of, you know, information on some of the meditations that I've mentioned, or even that Ian's mentioned, feel free to comment on our, you know, on our comments below. And, you know, sometime throughout today, because Monday is my coaching day, but I'm also taking a bit of time out later on this afternoon to go and meet my lovely man from the airport. So find out what's great for you, what works for you, and go ahead and do that. So more notifications I'm going to flick out of the way. Just want to check how we're doing for time. So I've got lots of these written down. I'm going to leave you with one more because with all of these, they are very easy to implement straight away. This one is even easier. You can literally implement it immediately right now. So the third way to sort your head out is to feast your senses. Now, many years ago, I actually worked in Morocco, and as the people came over and wanted to see and explore different parts of Morocco, I think the tourist board at the time used to describe Morocco as a feast for the senses. And that saying always struck with me. Like, when you feast your senses, your 5 senses, and some of you your 6 senses, when you are feasting your senses, you're feasting like on what you see, your visual senses. You're feasting on what you hear. You're feasting on how you feel. For some of you, you're feasting on the smells and the tastes. Okay, so here's how this sorts your head out. Rather than dwelling in the thing, like when we're anxious or we're stressed and we've got something going on, it's quite easy that it will take up a lot of our minds, our space, the things that we're thinking about, otherwise known as worry. Now, when you're feasting your senses, you're aware that the worry is there, but you're choosing to put your focus on something else. This is important. You're not pushing anything down or any emotion, but instead of giving time, energy and thought to the thing that's actually making you feel bad, and almost, if this was a word, the more you think about it, the badder you feel. You know, it makes you feel worse because you are thinking about it. Your brain doesn't know it's not really happening, and it perpetuates. And before you know it, you're in a state of worry. We all go through this at certain times with certain things. Now, if you're in a state of worry, the way to stop that worry, or at least to press pause on that worry, is to have a look at and put your focus on something else. Something that's more useful than creating a problem that you haven't actually got yet. That's what worry is doing. It's like money in the bank for something that hasn't even happened yet. So when you are choosing to think of something different and feast your senses, it could be that you need a different point of view. You know, as I look out of the window here, there's a gorgeous little tree, and there were about 5 or 6, I don't even know what kind of birds they were, but they were like really chirpy and happy and chit-chatting away. Just to give myself a few seconds to see something different is amazing. And I've spoken about this before. Particularly if you're prone to depression or anything else like that, and I'm not a medical doctor, and I would recommend that you seek medical advice if you need it. When people are going through depression, one of the things that will tend to naturally happen, whatever's going on inside them will cause them to shrink down, to withdraw, even to look down. So one of the things to do is change your scenery, even if it's walking around the block, and as you do it, have a look at the chimney tops. Rather than looking at the floor, which allows your brain to get into the space of worrying, overthinking and feeling depressed, start to look up. Now, one thing you'll notice is when you are feeling, I've used it for feeling down, and clients have used it for feeling down, and depression is a bigger piece. So I'm not going to belittle the strength that depression has with some people. When you are feeling in that way, what I experienced personally was I would look up and it's almost like my eyes wanted to just go straight back down. So there was this battle as I'm walking around the block of not looking down, looking up. Oh, I'm looking down again, look up. And the best kind of distraction is count the chimney tops, count the rooftops, count the top windows that you can see, count the clouds in the sky, count the aeroplanes that are going past, count how many seconds in your head you can count to while looking at the sky. Do whatever it takes. Obviously, take care if you're on a busy road or anything else like that. That would certainly be a distraction. But have a look and just look up, and that will help you to access your possibility, your own possibility. No one else's but your own. Feast your senses by changing what you see. There's a reason why many of you keep loved ones' pictures in your wallets and purses and on your person or on your phone. So have a look at something that visually pleases you, and have a look at that not once or twice a day. I'm talking keep looking at it. If you're working at the computer, after 15 minutes, take a break from the computer. Have a look at the thing or things that will feed it. It could be your vision board. It could be anything. It could be a beautiful plant that you've got. Even with its beautiful brown spot, I still love this plant. I don't know if you can see the gorgeous, there you go, I'll pull it into view, the gorgeous red lilies. It's got about 4 or 5 of those, and just a few seconds of looking at that feast my senses. But it could be your auditory senses. So if you're prone to worrying and overthinking, you will have an inner dialogue that is churning round and round your head. A great way to break this and put a break in the inner dialogue is to listen to your favourite music. Compile a list of 3, 4, 5, 10, 50 songs that you love, and if you're able to, put your headphones in and listen to it. This was a really great piece of advice that I've given to clients, especially when you're in the employed space. Maybe you're at work and you don't have the luxury that we do as self-employed people of being able to just get up and go, no, I need a break, you know, because maybe the boss is watching or something like that. If you're able to wear headphones at work, you can decide to fill your head with music, your favourite music, the thing that makes you feel happiest. It could be that you're listening to inspirational talks such as TED Talks. It could be that you are listening to something that feeds your brain. There's a really highly recommended book called Think and Grow Rich. It's actually available as an audio book, and there are copies of it on YouTube. So maybe listen to that, have that playing in the background, just to fill up and feast your auditory senses and what you can hear. And if you are going to a place or people or situations where everything is always negative, you might actually choose to remove those from your life or remove them from your existence. If every time you go down to the cafeteria in your work building and it's all doom and gloom, you might choose instead to grab something to eat at a different time of day. And I used to do this when I was a very senior training manager in my corporate role in financial services. I would grab something, either if it was a bottle of water or a piece of fruit, and I would just go outside into the gardens where it was beautiful, beautiful plants, and just very natural and very nature filled and very nurturing. And I would just go and stand there and have my break out there, eat my piece of fruit. And what I started to find was other people that would do something similar, they had a different headspace around them, a different mindset. So I feasted my senses both with what I heard around me and what I saw. You might even flood your senses with how you feel. Maybe it's a favourite piece of fabric. Maybe it's a stress ball. Maybe it's something that you like to hold, or you like the feel or the texture of it. Do that. One of the best ways is a hug. Who can you hug today? How many hugs can you collect in your day? So something that improves or enhances the way that you're feeling. And then other ways that feast for the senses, smells. It could be incense, it could be candles, it could be anything like that. Something that you like the smell of. Maybe it's fresh coffee first thing in the morning. You know, why don't, rather than saying, oh, well, I'm just going to open a can of the instant stuff or a jar of the instant stuff, why not go out and treat yourself to a nice cafetiere or a coffee machine or something where you can at least give yourself that gift of that beautiful smell. And I don't even drink coffee, that beautiful smell first thing in the morning, because you've now reset your night, started your day. And why not start it in a great way? You've done your meditation, now you're flooding your senses. I really hope that you found just some of the stuff that I've shared on here, and having a look, there are more for me to share. So you know what? Next Monday, I'm going to do part 2. Part 2 is going to be sort your head out, or ways to sort your head out. But here's what I would love to hear most. Out of the things that I've shared so far, there will be things that you likely already do. So I want to invite you, for the things that you already do, how can you build on those and make them work even better, even stronger for you? How can you enhance and build those? And if they're things that you haven't done before, perhaps you might look at which of these things do you commit to doing from straight away, because they're all easy enough to do. Is sleep the underpinning for you? Now, the reason that I'm sharing those 3 so far and the rest next week is because it's so important to have a look at things from the root cause. If your head is in a state, you might say, oh, it's because I'm worrying about relationships, I'm worried about money, I'm worried about my business, I'm worried about what might happen or might not happen, I'm worried about the kids, I'm worried about whatever thing you're worried about. The best place to tackle it is not for me to say, well, just stop worrying about it. That's rubbish. It will be going to the underlying cause. Are you prone to worrying about specific people, situations or circumstances? Do you find that worry is a place that actually feels comfortable for you? And if so, why? Do you find that you have the ability to do the most amazing things with your own life, but can take yourself out by having a headspace that's not conducive for the thing that you want? And if that's the case, those tips that I've just given you there will more than get underneath the surface layer of what could be causing that. So I would love you to share this. This is it's a subject that I'm passionate about and really close to my heart. I see too many people struggling through their life because they don't have coping mechanisms, they don't know about coaching, they maybe can't even afford coaching, or they don't see a value in getting help externally. These are all free, these are all things that you can do, and they're all things that you can do immediately and with ease. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't keep me secret and do share me with people. And just to read some of the comments there, Ivona says, great tips here, Jenny, thank you. No, thank you for taking the time to commit, not to watching me, but to commit to yourself. Give yourself this time to be your absolute best, most fabulous self. So Ivona's saying, I'll be focusing more on my senses this week, specifically the visual side. That's so great. Ivona, I know that you're also in the Vibes Tribe, and for those of you that aren't in the Visibility Vibes Tribe, go to the top of the page and hit visit the group. 3 very quick questions and you're in. Feel free to share and let us know how you get on throughout the week. And if you and Ivona, anyone watching this would like to just do a little kind of like document that, you can either put a post in there with the Monday Motivation tag on, or even do a quick video or Facebook Live if you're feeling brave to do that and want to. Let us know what you're doing, because what you do could definitely and will definitely inspire somebody else, even if they don't come into the group and comment. Sometimes people are in a place where they just want to watch from afar and they want the ideas. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for those of you who've already been sharing this. So much love to you on this Monday, and I really can't wait to hear these ways of how these have worked for you. Lots of love. Bye for now.